So you've decided that it is time to overcome your perceived limitations and become a serious trail runner. Or maybe you're trying out trail running for the first time. Or maybe you're bored of running on roads and you're wondering what you should be bringing with you when you're trail running. Well, today on the show, I'm going to share how I pack for trail running with asthma. I've had asthma since birth. And when I was 4 years old, I was told by multiple doctors that I should not play soccer and I should never become a runner. Fast forward 30 years later, and I am an elite ultra runner who runs trails 6 days a week. And I actually live right on one of my favorite trails. So let's go through what I bring with me during my trail runs. Now, I have asthma. I also have different food allergies, and sometimes my allergies can even surface depending on how my diet's been, how I felt, and all these different environmental factors when running. So the first thing I always bring is my inhaler and Benadryl, because you never know when you may need it. And remember, even though on this show and on my YouTube channel, I am a big proponent of training your lungs, strengthening your lungs to overcome your limitations that asthma can create, I also believe that your inhaler and having what you need to support yourself, to support your system and keep yourself safe is the most important thing. So no matter if you take your inhaler every single day, or if you're like me where you only use your inhaler as a last resort, and for me, I really only use my inhaler when I'm sick, and even then I try not to use it unless I really need it. The first thing you need to bring is your inhaler and anything else that your healthcare professional, your doctor has prescribed so you can stay safe. For me, it's my inhaler and Benadryl. I have a disclaimer in the description below this video on YouTube. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, I have a disclaimer in the show notes. I am not a healthcare professional. So definitely you need to talk to your healthcare professional and see what they say you need to have with you when you're running, when you're doing anything. So the second thing is shoes. Now, depending on your experience as a runner, and depending on what shoe stores you've gone to and what you've heard from people, you may have very, very interesting views on shoes. And it's because everyone has their own opinion. I've read Born to Run, and I highly recommend that you pick up the book and listen to it just like you're listening to this podcast while you're running. Born to Run, it talks about how our feet need very little support to support us when we're running. Every body is different. So what works for me may not work for you. When I first started running, I invested in the most expensive shoes. I got the really thick shoes, and the shoe store said, hey, it's going to take a little while for these to break in. It may hurt for a few runs. 1 or 2 runs later, my feet were in excruciating pain, just half a mile to a mile into the run. So I'm like, there's something wrong here. And I brought those shoes back and I got a different pair. I ran with those shoes for a year or 2. Today, I run with 2 different types of shoes. We're talking about trail running today. So my favorite trail running shoes that work for my feet, because I have a wide foot and these shoes have a wide toe box and the cushion is very minimalistic. It makes it easier for my feet to feel the earth with less pressure. Now, when you're trail running, you also have to notice that the ground is softer than running on a track, than running on concrete, than running on asphalt, than running on a treadmill. So a misconception with trail running is that it's actually harder on the body. It is actually easier on the body when it comes to your feet, when it comes to the impact that your body takes. Because when you are running on sidewalk, when you're running on asphalt, you are running on a hard surface that doesn't have any give. And even then, I still highly recommend that you check out how different shoes feel in your body, because the more cushion doesn't necessarily help. If you have an inch or more of cushion, or just the more cushion you have on your shoes, the harder your feet have to press to feel the earth, to send the neural signals throughout your body that you are actually running and that you need to take another step. When you take it to very minimalistic, much less cushion, this is talked about in Born to Run too, your body doesn't have to push as hard. It's easier for your toes, for your feet to feel the earth. That's why barefoot running is a thing. Now, I don't barefoot run. I could probably do it if I put a lot of time into it and I calloused my feet. But the shoes that I wear are called the Topo Athletic Mountain Racer 3s. This is what I use for trail running. Now, sometimes I will wear my Topo Athletic Fly Lights, and right now they're on the 5. I have links to the shoes that I use in the YouTube description and in the show notes of this podcast episode. But I use these because they have wide toe boxes. They're very comfortable on my feet. And the misconception that you have to run in your shoes for a while for them to break in doesn't apply here. I am a strong believer that if you have a shoe that actually is meant for your foot, that it's not going to take any time to break in. I have personal proof. When I ran my 100K Ultra in September 2024, I had 2 pairs of Fly Lights. I always buy shoes 2 pairs at a time. And I wasn't keeping track of the wear very well. I did most of my training in these shoes. And while they're not trail shoes, the trail I was running on wasn't a trail that needed that much grip. Well, 3 days before the race, I started getting nervous and all this stuff. And I looked at the shoes and both pairs had holes in them. So I started freaking out. I'm like, okay, well, I need to go buy new shoes and break them in 3 days. And that's what I did. I went to the store. I bought another pair of Fly Lights and I asked them, I'm like, hey, do you have a trail shoe like the Fly Lights that I can check out? And they're like, yeah, we have the Mountain Racers. So I grabbed the Mountain Racers, put them on, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try. So I took a run that afternoon. No issues, no pain. My feet felt amazing. I'd never worn these shoes before in my life. I'd never worn the model of shoe before. I've never worn these shoes before. They were brand new. So I decided, hey, I'm going to bring both of these pairs and I'm going to bring one of my old Holy pairs to my race just in case I'm really wrong with this and I need one that I haven't worn just for 5-10 miles. Well, I ran my entire 100K Ultra in the Mountain Racers and they had 5 to 10 miles on them of breaking in. And I won the race. So when people tell you, oh yeah, your feet are going to hurt for a couple days, based on this experience, I think that is BS. If you have found a shoe meant for your foot, it shouldn't take time to break in. Number 3, clothes. I typically, no matter what time of year it is, there's 2 things I always wear. I wear my hoodie. So I literally wear what I'm wearing right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, I wear a hoodie. Specifically, buy all my clothes from Vuori. I love Vuori. As you may know, I am a yoga teacher. And back in 2018, I needed a pair of shorts because I forgot shorts. And I went to yoga and I forgot shorts. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy a pair of shorts. I'm like, so I thought I bought Lululemon. I bought them, wore them for a while. Then I was taking a run with my friend a month or 2 later. And he's like, hey, you know Vuori? And I'm like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I don't know what Vuori is. He's like, your shorts, that's what you're wearing. And I looked at the logo and I'm like, oh, that isn't Lululemon, that's Vuori. Well, anyway, he got me hooked on Vuori and it is the best brand ever. I absolutely love it. I wear it all the time. I'm wearing it right now. I run in it. I run in the Ponto Performance hoodies or the Ponto hoodie and the trail shorts. Now, depending on when you're watching this, they may not have these exact products available, but I love them. If it's cold outside, you'll also find me in the Ponto pants. Now, I am a influencer for Vuori, so I do promote them. I have a link in the description below this video and in the show notes as well. I just love how these feel. They're high quality, and I race in these, I run in these, I train in these. I love how they breathe, how they keep me warm when I need, how I sweat a lot. They absorb what I need, make me feel good while I'm running. So that's what I wear, is the trail shorts, the hoodie, and then the poncho pants if it's colder. When it's really cold outside, I also make sure that I am wearing gloves. For me, my hands tend to get really cold. My feet can too, so I'll wear like wool socks and gloves. But I wear gloves even now. It's spring right now when I'm recording this, and I wear gloves because if my hands get cold, everything else is gonna get cold. So I like to keep my hands warm. And then I wear Under Armour. I have links to all this in the show notes and description below the video. Next thing is nutrition. Now I talk about nutrition even deeper if you're looking for nutrition tips for long runs. I have podcast episode and a video linked in the YouTube description below if you're watching this on YouTube, or you could just search on the podcast for top long run nutrition tips. But overall, for nutrition, let's say I'm taking any kind of run. Could be a 2-mile run, could be a 20-mile run. What do I have with me? First, I always make sure that I have some sort of electrolytes and some sort of carbs with me. And if I'm taking a longer run, I'll usually throw all this in a Camelback. So I'll take a Camelback with me, a 1.5 to 2 liter. I like to use liquid IV for my electrolytes, liquid IV, and then I'll also just do some pink Himalayan salt. I do this because last year during my 100K Ultra, I was putting liquid IV in every single Camelback, my team was, and I still at mile 37 cramped up really bad in my hamstring. So now when I'm doing longer runs, I always make sure that I have pink salt with me, and I'll actually put it in my Camelback on top of the liquid IV to prevent that type of cramping. I think that was a game changer for me because I used to eat all my carbs, is something called the Scratch Labs Super High Carb Powder. I put this in my pack whenever I'm doing a long run now. I get 300 to 500 calories of carbs in my Camelback, my 1 to 2 liter, and I put a couple liquid IVs in there. I put some pink salt in there if I'm doing a longer run, like 25, 30 miles. Is really when I put the pink salt in there. You can put it earlier. You gotta really be in tune with your body, keep things going so you feel good. But this has been a game changer for me because especially the longer you run, it can get exhausting to be eating all the time. I highly recommend you check this out. I have it linked in the description and in the show notes for the podcast. I also have the liquid IV and the pink salt there too, and the exact Camelback that I use. I do like to eat things still, so I bring something solid, usually a wrap of some sort, so like a tortilla wrap. Now, what about electronics, tracking gear? Number 5, electronics. Definitely bring my phone. Now, I bring my phone for multiple reasons, because I do like to listen to music, podcasts like this one. I like to listen to YouTube videos. If I can't find a podcast on, I like to listen to audiobooks. So I always bring my phone. I have a whole podcast episode and video on my YouTube channel about why I always run with music and why you should too. Well, I have some really amazing reasons why you should, especially if you have asthma. So I highly recommend you checking out that episode. So I bring my phone also because my phone acts as my tracking device so people can easily find me. I share my location with my significant other, with my family, with any friends that I want them to know where I am just in case something happens. Maybe I have an asthma attack and they can find me. Maybe my watch dies, because I also run with an Apple Watch, so some sort of watch tracker. Maybe my watch dies and this is the only way that people can track me down. I bring 2 types of headphones. I'll bring a Bluetooth and a wired pair, especially for long runs, because you never know when your Bluetooth headphones are going to die. And your case may die too, so you can't charge them. So I always have wired headphones. You never know when some music is going to take you out of a really dark place or help you with your breath. I use music, the beat of music, to help me with my breath, to calm my system down so that I can really work through my breath and just preventing asthma attacks. Now, I always have my inhaler. I go into detail in my podcast episode and video why I always run with music and why you should too. And the last thing, this is just a bonus thing that I bring with me when I'm trail running, is my dog. She's the best. She runs 20 to 35 miles a week with me. Now, if you are running with your dog, I highly recommend that you talk to their vet and see how they feel about the running that you do. And if your dog doesn't run at all right now, and you see these numbers and you're like, oh, I want to run 35 miles a week with my dog, don't go from 0 to 35. Don't go from 0 to 20. Maybe go 0 to 5 miles. It's been a slow build-up. Her name is Sniktau. You can see her. I have a bunch of shorts on my YouTube channel of her and I running together. And check that out. She loves running when it's colder. During the winter, when it's 30 degrees, she loves it. When it's 60 degrees out, she does very good. When we get to 70 plus, she has to run a lot less miles. So you got to be really careful with running with your animals. So it's just a bonus I bring with me. Great having that running buddy as well. And just remember, when you're integrating all of this into your life, movement, with running as movement, is one of the 3 pillars of healthy living. The other 2 pillars are tracking. That's why we bring our tracking elements with us, to track miles, to track heart rate, to track caloric output. We want to know what we're burning so that we know how much we need to refuel our system. And pillar number 3 is accountability. That's why, I'm joking around with my dog being my running buddy, accountability partner, but she really is, because she now runs to get me. I'll be inside and she's like, hey, are we going running today, Dad? That accountability really helps and it gets me outside. I love doing that with her. I have my healthy living guide that not only helped me lose 40 pounds, it has helped me keep it off, become an elite ultra runner, and just live a much healthier and happy life. And my healthy living guide, it's linked in the description below the video. It's linked in the show notes, or you can go to www.athletewithasthma.com/healthy-living-guide to grab your copy. It's going to take you less than 2 or 3 minutes to read and start integrating into your life today. I'll see you in the next one.